Hi, Islamic Dad here. If you enjoy this channel, please subscribe. Still getting over being sick. Better, but I have a cough. Hopefully, it won't impact this video too much. Years ago, I first came across the phrase dysmorphia. It's typically used with regard to like body image, but it can also be attributed to personality and identity. And in that case, typically, where it would crop up in that form is, say, teenagers. And so you might hear the phrase from a senior in high school or freshman in college where they say, I don't know who I am. I'm trying to find myself. And their behavior at that point is very strange. They might, get rid of all their friends, and all of a sudden they're a cowboy. And they try that for a semester. And then they get rid of all their cowboy friends, and then all of a sudden they're a skater dude, and they're all into listening to Fish and old Grateful Dead albums, or et cetera, et cetera. But basically, their identity and personality to some degree are in such a state of flux that there's nothing solid there at all. And so they're just kind of trying on identities to see if one fits. And where I'm going with that is that it, at least for me, has kind of helped in thinking back to the narcissists in my life. So as I have explained before, my wife, ex-wife, I was with her for about 18, 19 years, and at that point she had a midlife crisis and became a completely different person. And at that point, needless to say, it was just jarring to see this stranger and the way she dressed and the way she acted and the way she behaved and the way she treated people and the way she spoke. It was all just completely different, and to be blunt, completely insane. And so that was my experience with my ex-wife, who I think fits really well into the category of malignant narcissist, very conflict driven. And my covert narcissist ex-girlfriend, I've talked about before, like the trauma bond and, do I miss her and stuff like that. And one of the things I keep coming back to is that how do you miss someone who never existed? How do you miss someone who was always changing? How do you miss someone who was a different person year by year, if not month by month? And so, if I have fond memories, do I say, okay, I miss my ex-girlfriend the way she was in January of 2019, but I don't miss her how she was in February of 2019. And I especially don't miss the way she was in 2022. And it's just thinking back, and I was trying to parse this out, kind of process these memories, and it was readily apparent very quickly that The issue wasn't on my side, it was all on her. And the person I was with for 4 years um, doesn't, you know, did, doesn't exist now and did not exist even then. It was someone who looked the same day by day, month by month, year by year, but was completely different, throughout that time. There's a pre Socratic, um, I think, Heraclitus, who has that amazing, saying, you can't step into the same river twice. And I kind of feel like that really sums up the experience of being in a relationship with a narcissist, at least, my experience. It, she was this river that was changing just every day, every week, every month, every year. And so it's very hard for me to, look back and say, oh, I miss her, when the her that I might be referring to maybe existed for a day, maybe for a couple of months, during a portion of the love bombing phase. I mean, and so it's just odd because, again, it's one of those things where I really like the amount of material that's on the internet, as far as learning to deal with narcissists, learning to recover from a relationship with a narcissist, understanding the behaviors, traits, motivations of a narcissist. But one aspect that I don't see spoken about or even mentioned is this dysmorphia, and how, again, the way that narcissists are typically portrayed is that they are this evil person who has a plan right from the start, and they trick you into a relationship, love bomb you, and then just decide to switch and slowly devalue and discard you. But that they're just this evil mastermind the entire time. And like I've said before, I think it's just ridiculous. I mean, one, I don't think that's true at all. And two, I think it's actually much crazier than even I had suspected, in that I don't think the narcissist has a stable identity, even as they're going through, like, the love bombing and the discard and the devalue and all this type of stuff. I don't think they have a stable identity through any of that, let alone throughout the entire relationship. And I I done a video recently about splitting, and how this bipolar trait, or not bipolar, borderline trait, the narcissists do it too, where they might, if they see you as all good, they will treat you well. But if you say something or do something that they don't like the way it makes them feel, you can have the best of intentions, but if it makes them feel bad, critiqued, judged, or anything like that, it's like a switch, and boom, they view you as 100% bad and will treat you that way. And it's very jarring to see a person do that borderline switch. And again, you might say something nice or supportive, or they just might have a memory pop into their head that's good, and they'll switch back, and all of a sudden they're in love with you and they think you're a wonderful person. And it's just like no gray, just black and white, back and forth. And I think that that's a good example of one of the aspects of this dysmorphia, of just the narcissist doesn't have a stable identity at heart. And again, I haven't really read or seen anything referring to this. So yeah, I just thought I'd make a video on this. And of course, if you've experienced anything like this in your life with a narcissist that you've dealt with, I'd love to read about it in the comments. Thanks.